Howdy folks, it's EB or Two Letters again with Outhouse Opinions. Today, let's talk about something. I'll give you my opinion about something that's very important that's going on in this country right now. And that's the issue of becoming a police state, whether we're controlled by uniforms. Okay? Now, without getting myself into a whole lot of hot water, I'll say we are in the middle of a police state. That's been my experiences. Experiences from my friends, experiences from my acquaintances. Whatever happened to the beat cop? Now, a lot of us are older here. Some of us are a lot younger. But whatever happened to the beat cop that you knew and you looked up to and respected him? You were taught as a kid to respect police officers. And they were in your neighborhood to protect you, to take care of any infractions that went down or any bullies that might be coming around the streets or whatever. But the beat cop was your friend. He was your buddy. You saw him on the corners. You saw him walking down the street. You might have seen him in a patrol car looking around. Whatever happened to that? We've gotten to a point now where some of our municipalities are so large that there's hundreds and hundreds of cops. And you don't know any of the guys that are patrolling your area. Your businesses, your homes, your shops. You don't know those guys. Whatever happened to that? It seems today like we've adopted an attitude of it's us against them. You're driving down the road, apparently doing nothing that you think of, and all of a sudden the lights come on behind you. Or a cop that gets behind you and starts following. And he may follow you for a mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, who knows? Just looking for an infraction. The whole time he's behind you, your heart is just going thump, 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 thump. Why is that? Why can't you be glad that he's behind you? So nobody else is going to run into you or carjack you or anything like that. But no, that's not the way it is anymore. We all read in the internet, the news media, of rogue cops doing totally unconstitutional, illegal stops, searches and seizures. Where did all these laws come from? Why are they there to enforce stupid laws? And I mean, this just happened to a friend of mine the other night. He got off work. He's a bartender. He got off work at 1:30 in the morning. He was on his way home in a little tiny small town. The cops had nothing else to do but get behind him and follow him. He hadn't been drinking. He'd just gotten off work, never had a drop. And they followed him for almost 10 miles. And finally, when he got to within a block of his house, they pulled him over. They stopped him. They ran his license plate, found out that somehow, some way, it had gotten suspended, the plate, the tag. Well, come to find out, after a long, lengthy bunch of crap, it was a glitch on their part, on the Department of Motor Vehicle. Somebody transposed a number. Now, when he was pulled over, he had all the proof of insurance, the registration, everything else. Yet these cops pulled the plate off his vehicle forcing him to be on foot for the next couple of days. He was unable to get to work. He was unable to go do anything, fend for himself or anything. So, and that's just one little example. Just one example. How many times have cops pulled people over for apparently nothing? They're not making any infractions. But yet, when the cop walks up to you, he goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" "No, I wasn't speeding. I didn't make any wrong turns." "Well, your license plate is a little bit illegible." I've had this happen because I live on a dirt road. So dust boils up behind the vehicle, and after 4 or 5 days, your license plate gets dirty, and it may be, to some, illegible. But is that a reason to pull you over? Is that probable cause? What is the probable cause there? Were you involved in a heinous crime that you have to be pulled over at 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning if you're getting off work? Or at 6 o'clock in the morning if you're going to work? Why do they do that? Is it to exercise authority? Is it to enforce some infraction of some law that they think that you may be guilty of? They can't arrest you for what you're thinking. They can only arrest you for what you're doing. They can only pull you over for what you're doing. They can't just indiscriminately pull you over because they want to, or because they think they can find something. You have to be committing or in the commission of a crime, whether it be a traffic violation or whatever. I have been pulled over for mistaken identity. Okay, that's an understandable mistake. But once a cop finds out that he's made a mistake, say, "Oh, okay, sorry, guy. You know, we have to be out here doing this." And everybody shakes hands and walks away fine. But it's not that way anymore. It's not that way. As soon as a cop, police officer, law enforcement agency, whatever you want to call them, as soon as they get behind you anymore, you have an increased heart rate. Your heart rate goes faster because you've heard of all the stories of what they can do, or what they will do to people for apparently no reason whatsoever. They'll search your car. They're not liable for replacing or repairing any damage they do to your vehicle. They're not responsible for repairing damage that they do if they come in and do a search and seizure on your house, or if they do an illegal search, or if they do a mistaken search. They are not liable for repairs because that's in the, how do they put it? In the, whatever it is, conducting their job. It's not their job to tear your stuff up. It's not their job to intimidate you. They used to say on the side of the police car, to serve and protect. Well, I see a lot of cop cars running around, and it doesn't say that anymore. It doesn't say that. So, it's no wonder that the attitude is out there. It's us against them. The sheriff's deputies, the cops in the little town that I live in, they don't socialize with people. They don't go out in the evening. They don't make themselves known. They don't make themselves friends of the community. They are not friends of the community in their eyes, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would love for cops to come into the little bar that I frequent, have dinner, have a couple drinks. Let's get to know each other. Hey, if I did something, I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. If you have to write me a ticket for it, that's fine. That's okay. But don't intimidate me, because I don't want to intimidate you. I want you to be my friend. I want law enforcement to be my friend so that we can help each other. Now, a lot of you have some horror stories about being pulled over by police. Some of you have fantastic stories about it. But in my opinion, are we becoming a police state more and more every day? Yes, we are. You have cops that are put on the street that don't know our constitutional rights. They blatantly break those constitutional rights every single day. It's illegal to do a search and seizure on your body, your person, or your vehicle, or your home. They have to have some probable cause. Now, I know a lot of criminals get away with a lot of stuff because they spout the Constitution or their rights or whatever. But if you know you're doing something wrong, you know you're doing something wrong. Why are you guilty before proven innocent? Why is that attitude out there? I don't have that attitude with people that I meet. I don't think cops should. It creates ill will in the community. And that's my opinion, because I see it every day. I see cops pull people over for a sobriety test. Well, why? Were they weaving? Were they running into things? Entrapment. You see them walk out of a bar. I go into a bar a lot of times. I just have lunch and I leave. I drink water or I drink soda pop and I leave. Now, does that justify them stopping me on my way back to work because they saw me come out of a bar? Or because I tripped or stumbled coming out of a bar? You know, you got to use logic. You got to use some common sense. And it seems anymore that the laws are written to protect the cops instead of protect the public. And I think it should change. I think it should change because that creates disrespect and ill will. I would love to be able to respect the cops in my town, but I don't. Most of them are so crooked they're crooked as a snake. You see them in their private residence, having their own private party, getting drunker than 40 sailors, and then driving home. And they reach in their pocket, and I've had this experience. They reach in their pocket, pull out their badge, and go, this gives me carte blanche to do whatever I want to do. That's wrong. That's wrong. The laws are in place for everyone to adhere to. The public, police officers, we all have to adhere to the same laws. Because we have a badge doesn't mean we get off scot-free. I saw, I guess I can't call him a forest Nazi, but I will. He's a Forest Service guy. He's a cop, Forest Service cop. I saw him in a bar one night, 3 sheets to the wind. He couldn't stand up, but he decided he was going to drive home. And we'd been having confrontations all night long about policy and laws and different things. But he stood up, and I said, "You really going to drive home after drinking that much?" And he reached in his pocket and he pulled out his badge. He said, "This gives me carte blanche to do anything I want. I can get out of any ticket by showing this." Now, he was drunk. He was pretty drunk. Staggering drunk. He went out and got in his car and drove home. Granted, he only had 3 miles to go. But if you or I had done that, we pulled out of a parking lot. As soon as we pull out of that parking lot, we're going to get pulled over and we're going to go to jail for being under the influence. So, are we becoming more and more of a police state? Yes, I believe we are. I believe we are. And I don't like it. Now, I would love to be friends with all the cops in my area. I'll help them, they help me. If they get in a confrontation, I'd be one of the first ones to pull over and help them. If they have mechanical breakdown, I used to be one of the first ones that would pull over and help them. Not anymore. Not anymore. I have no respect. There are some good cops out there. I grant you that. You guys, some of you may be watching this, and I would not want your job. I would not want it. But some of you seem to relish in the fact that you can hassle people, you can harass people for whatever reason you want to. That's not the truth. That is not constitutional. That's not what we're about. You have to have a reason. Now, I understand in your profession you get very hardened. You get very hardened to the criminal element. But that doesn't mean I'm a criminal. Just because you see me going down the road doesn't mean I'm a criminal. So take that into consideration, that 90% of the people you see on the road are just regular John Doe, Jane Doe people coming or going to work, coming or going to the grocery store. They're coming or going someplace. And they're not out there to maliciously break laws. And so they're not guilty before they're proven innocent. You have to have a reason to pull them over. And then if there is an infraction, don't be a hard ass all the time. I mean, I've had guys pull me over and say, "Where are you going?" Well, that's none of your business. You got guns in the car? That's none of your business. What do you got in the car? That's none of your business. What did I do? What did I do that you are pulling me over for? You tell me. If I ran a stop sign, if I did something, yeah, write me a ticket for it. That's fine. It was my stupidity that caused me to make an infraction of the law. But if I'm going down the road, minding my own business, not hurting anybody, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I've been pulled over and said, the cop told me, "You know why I pulled you over?" No, I have no idea. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's just barely light. Why did you pull me over? There was you and me on the road. We met each other head on. And he said, "Well, you kind of fit the profile." It's illegal to profile. What profile did I fit? And his partner was standing at the back right-hand side of my car with his hand on his gun. And this guy's standing there talking to me through the window with his, and we went through this whole rigmarole. And it was an act of intimidation. It's exactly what it was. The only reason he left me alone that particular morning was because he got a call on the radio of an accident, a traffic accident. So he had to go investigate that or look at it or do whatever he had to do with it. That's the only reason he left me alone. Had that not happened, at 6 o'clock in the morning, in a little teeny tiny rural town, he would have continued to harass me or hassle me. That's not right. That's not right. And he finally said, after he inspected my car, he said, well, you have a crack in the windshield. We live in Arizona. We get cracks in our windshield 3 or 4 times a year. So long as it's not impairing your sight, who cares? It's a break in the windshield. It costs $200-300 to fix it. A lot of us don't have $200 or $300 to fix that little crack. So, I mean, that's my rant. Okay, in my opinion, the cops need to make a concentrated effort to be more friendly with the public. Because then and only then will they get more respect. Respect is a two-way street. You give me respect, I'll give you respect. You intimidate me, I'm going to try to intimidate you right back. You tell me what I'm going to do, we're going to have a problem because I'm not going to do it. You tell me to exit my car with my hands on my head, which has never happened, but you tell me to exit my car with my hands on my head, I want to know why. Why are you doing this to me? And like I said, a lot of you may have instances or occasions that you've had to run in with police or law enforcement. A lot of times for nothing. A lot of times for nothing. And you wonder what gave them probable cause to pull me over. They have to have probable cause. Now, once they get up to your car, they can trump up any probable cause charge they want to. So, anyway, I want to hear your opinions on it. I want to hear your experiences. We hear them every day on the news. So, let's just see if we really are headed toward a total police state that's controlled by uniforms and law enforcement agencies of all kinds. So that's my opinion on that. So, like I said, shoot me an opinion. Let's put it out there and see if we can change this. Make everybody more friendly. Make the cops more friendly to the public. Make the public more friendly to the cops. Help them out on their job. They do have a tough job. I will admit that. They have a very tough job. I wouldn't want to do it. But we all need respect. Need to respect each other. So, before it goes totally upside down. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. So, if you have an opinion, bring it on in. We love opinions. Just remember, no nudity, no profanity, and no threatening language. Okay. Thanks, guys. See you next time.